With more right now on the Playbook, we are joined by CCS analyst John Jackson. He is a former vice president of Yankee Group's Wireless Mobile Technologies unit. John Jackson is with us from Boston. John, thanks so much for being with us. Is it too little, too late for RIM? I mean, they're not releasing this till the first half of next year. Does it create a buzz that can't be followed through by us walking into a store tomorrow?
Well, I think there's an element of that, to be certain. What we do know about the tablet category is that it remains highly speculative. I heard some of your analyst commentary on potential volume upside for this unit in particular relative to the iPad. What we do know about the category is that RIM are about to be in very, very crowded company. So, virtually all RIM's competitors are developing similar types of devices. Almost all are based on Google's Android operating system. So it's a safe bet that anyone who competes directly with RIM in the smartphone space is set to launch one of these in a comparable or earlier time period. I don't necessarily think it's too early, too little, too late, though. I think that's not safe to say that, given the effort that RIM has put into the development of the device itself and the extent to which I think they've done something relatively clever in coming in well below, both in terms of the device's spec,
do you mean price
its
point?
Size and its weight, and price point as well, likely price point, which we don't necessarily know.
What do you think it's going to be, John?
Well, I think if I have to kind of look at it and put a ballpark around it, it's in that $300 to $350
okay, so
range.
Basically much cheaper than the Apple iPad, which is around $800, give or take.
That's right. Well, 800, 500 really at the low end, right? So you can't get into an iPad for less than 500. I think there's a market opportunity below that, and I think it's RIM have done a good job getting this product positioned in that way.
What about the fact that they're going to miss the holiday season? How important is that to just getting it launched?
I think you can overestimate the importance of that. Would they like to? Would it be a good thing to have it on shelves for the holiday season? Absolutely, but the bigger story here is the QNX operating system, and I think you saw this announced at RIM's developer conference because they need to engaging the development community is critical to attracting innovation, right? That's what
everybody
Apple has done
says
so
that's
well.
why Apple hits home runs all the time, is because they're able to do that.
They are a platform for innovation, and increasingly the guys who compete in the smartphone space don't think in terms of smartphones alone. Look at what Apple are doing with iTV, Google TV, etc. So what I think you're going to see is that the Playbook is the first physical manifestation of a much, much broader strategy at RIM based on the QNX operating system that's going to take them across multiple disparate hardware categories.
John, you mentioned you thought some of the analyst points that we were referencing earlier were too aggressive. I just want to go back to that. Canaccord Genuity, our own John Ehrlichman, telling us 13.5 million iPads meant to ship this year, 25 million next year. Are those the figures that you say are just too optimistic for the space?
I don't necessarily think they're too optimistic, and I don't think they're too aggressive necessarily. But, the issue around this category, and, we know this from being on the other side of very pointy questions from some of the OEMs, is that nobody really knows how to size the market. So, and in the case of RIM, we don't know two important things, right? I gave you some indication of what we think the price point is, but that's a loose indication. So we don't know price and we don't know distribution yet. RIM haven't disclosed sort of how or where they'll distribute this. And obviously those are two of the 4 Ps of marketing, as we say, and critical determinants of a product's success.
John, thanks so much. John Jackson joining us there from Boston from CCS Insight, saying there's still too many unknowns for the Playbook to really tell how it's going to do next year.